and the Minnesota Wild are right at the top of the league with the Leafs. Their schedule or their fucking, what do you call it? Their record is almost identical as the Toronto Maple Leafs. The Minnesota Wild have been fucking killing it. So
and you could tell when the Leafs played them, it was back and forth. It was probably, I would say, the best game of the year.
It was probably the best. Yeah,
it was like a playoff game. It was hyped up, which scared me because I thought that
until the next night, which maybe
but I thought their tank would be empty by the time they got to Winnipeg. Like after watching that Minnesota game, it was. But let's talk about the Minnesota game.
So this game kind of had a bit of everything. The Wild go up early, or no, it was kind of. I think they scored late in the first period to go up 1-0, early in the second, and then about halfway through this game, it's 3-0 for the Minnesota Wild, and it's just
all fluky goals.
Off
a ref, off a post, right to Minnesota. Like nothing. Campbell was not having a bad night. These were fluky goals that he let in.
Yeah, for sure, agree with that. So 3-0. And it's not looking good. And I'm just thinking, okay, they don't have it. It's not whatever. I didn't really think they were going to come back. I wasn't sure, but anyway. So they get, I don't know if and then Spezza kind of like from behind, he was in the corner and from kind of behind the net, he just kind of flipped it out in front. I think it hit the Minnesota defenseman and then the goalie's head and like kind of trickled down his back and in the net. So the first Leafs goal was like a weird, dirty goal too. But, so Leafs got on.
They deserve that.
No, for sure.
After the goals that Minnesota had scored.
So here we go. Like within a 10-minute frame, the second half of the second period, the Leafs. So Spezza scores to make it 3-1. The Leafs get a power play. Spezza scores again to make it fucking 3-2. Then Spezza on another power play late in the third sets up Austin Matthews.
Yeah, baby.
So he ties it 3-3 with the tip, Austin Matthews, and we go to the third, tied 3-3. And I'm like, okay, this could go any way here. And here's where we'll get into, okay, look, especially when we get into the next game, there's going to be a lot of talk about the officiating tonight because I have got some bones.
Oh, man. I have a few bones to pick.
I've got a hard bone to pick with the NHL and the officials this week. Okay.
And I've got an even harder bone to pick with Brad Mayer in particular.
Holy fuck, man. I'll throw my first boner at boner.
Hey, Mr. Siva.
Look. Here's what I didn't like in the third period of this Minnesota game. Tied 3-3, ends up going to overtime, okay? But late in the game, like, Campbell gets fucking run by Foligno. Marcus Foligno just fucking smokes him. Doesn't even try to fucking stop up. He just right in his head, right? Headshot, right over. Ran him over.
Like when they showed it in slow motion, Campbell's head just whipped back.
I can't believe he stayed in the game. He was laying he was laying sprawled out in the net. I thought he was fucking dead. He was out.
We're so lucky that he's not concussed.
Oh my God.
Nothing happened. Anyway, that game was on TSN. Ray Ferraro, best in the business, watching that replay during the broadcast, basically said, I don't know how this is not a penalty. It's not like the ref was looking away. He was 5 feet away watching the play.
Everybody on the ice was watching the play. The guy was driving the net like a bulldozer. He just fucking ran him right over. I don't know, man.
I don't understand. I don't understand. I do not understand the officiating when you have. We'll get into in the Winnipeg game, but
big time.
Like a guy will just barely grab onto a guy's arm. So, he'll be going around a defenseman or whatever, and the defense will throw his stick, and then he'll just grab the guy's arm for half a second. Arm goes up. Right in front of you, a guy bulldozes a goalie and almost takes his head off, and you're like, no, it's good.
No, this is it. And this is
I don't get it.
And look, this is not like we're going to get into the officiating in the next game big time because absolutely ridiculous. But
Because we have two bones.
But this was two hard bones, but this was a third bone. I did not like this at all. Like it just sets.
No.
I'm like, how
You
do
never,
run-
you never like when a third bone comes in the picture.
No, fuck no, man. Two's plenty. You don't want to see a third one.
I don't even like two.
No, man. If you got two in the screen and all of a sudden like a fucking third bone starts fucking coming in like to the equation, like here
Oh
comes
my
the
God.
third bone, here comes
Get
the
out
third
of
bone.
town.
Get out of here with that shit. So
Because you know what? When a third bone comes in, it only gets more aggressive.
oh fuck, man. You're like if you got three bones in the equation, you've got every fucking hole plugged. There's no more holes to plug. So look, man. Look, this Marcus Foligno motherfucker. He fucking takes Campbell's head off. The ref non-call. I'm like, okay, two things I didn't like here. The Leafs should have been I was right at the end of the game, right at the end of the third period. The Leafs should have been starting the overtime on a fucking power play.
Yeah.
Not only that, like there wasn't much I don't know who was on the ice at that time, but there wasn't much final minute of the game. So like, I think it might've been Kampf and Kasha and Engvall to get it to overtime.
And also there was still time on the clock. I talked
Not
to
much
someone,
though.
No, not much, but I talked to someone about this, and I know what you're getting at, the Leafs retaliating. Or
Well, they
doing
just
something.
kind of it's their best friend on the fucking team. The guy's like, and just nobody.
Best player on the team this season has been Jack Campbell.
Nobody does fucking anything. Like
No, but if they do something and they take a penalty and Minnesota scores, you don't even get the point. So I think
it doesn't matter. That doesn't even matter to me.
But
I don't care.
It doesn't. The biggest thing is the penalty should be called.
But
it's not.
I know, but I don't
job.
care, Chad. I don't care about the point at that point in time. I'm like, I just saw this guy take my goalie's head off. Fuck that. I don't care about the fucking point.
Right. And if you had the right guys on the ice, that would have happened.
Right.
Those guys weren't on the ice.
We're a team. Like you ran my goalie, clear fucking headshot. No, that doesn't happen. So fuck the point. Sorry, boys, but I'm going to stand up for my teammate instead of fucking let that fucking garbage happen. But the ref should have called it 100% non-call. Yeah. Anyway,
that's the ref's job. And this is how games get out of hand. This is how people get hurt. Is if the refs aren't doing their job, then the players are like, well, fuck it.
Okay, so like here we go then. So no one.
So they go into overtime.
Yeah, no one scores in overtime.
They do get a power play in overtime, but only for about a minute, maybe 50 seconds. Spezza got slashed on the hand.
Yeah.
So they ended up getting a penalty, but you're right. They should have had 2 full minutes of 4-on-3 to start that overtime. They didn't get it. They go into the shootout. Everybody hates fucking shootouts in Toronto.
I just wanted to say here, like, I was seeing just a quick little negative. Spezza had a fucking huge game. Like he was in on all 3. He scored 2 goals and
Spezza's having a huge season.
I know, but in this game, this is like his best game of the season and he was killing it. I saw him maybe 1-2 shifts in overtime. Like, I saw Cache and Engvall on the ice and some other dudes, and I'm like, I didn't like. I just didn't understand.
He came out at the end and got slashed in the hand.
I know, but before that, like, I don't think they started overtime with him.
So, no, they didn't. They didn't start it. He didn't come out until that shift. He got slashed in the hand.
So how does that make fucking sense? The guy's had the best night of anybody offensively. I would have had him on the wing with Austin Matthews to start the fucking overtime. Would you not?
Yeah, with Mitchie being out, I would have went Matthews, Spezza, and Tavares Nylander.
So that just made zero fucking sense to me. I'm like, and I'm seeing guys come over the boards, Cache, Engvall. I'm like, what the fuck? What are they doing? What is he doing here? Anyway,
where's the guy? Like Engvall scores once every blue moon. Put Spezza on.
It just didn't make sense to me. But anyway, whatever. They go to a shootout. They lose the shootout, so they end up losing. They end up losing 4-3, and yeah, I mean,
I saw a funny,
great game though. Great game.
I saw a funny stat. I don't have it in front of me, so I just remember a few of the players. But since Spezza has come to the Leafs, his production and how many points he gives you per game is on par with like. Jeff Skinner was on the list. Kerfoot was on the list. Like he basically, gives you that. The difference was he played an average of 8 minutes less than everybody else on the list.
Oh, no doubt. No doubt.
Like, this guy is the best contract signed in the league, bar none. This guy.
No, 100%.
League minimum for Jason Spezza. You fucking kidding me? You kidding me?
No, 100%. So, and just to put a bow tie on that Minnesota game,
Nick Ritchie should just be giving his money to Jason Spezza.
Oh, fuck, 100% he should be. Riley ended up having 3 assists in that game. Spezza, 2 goals, 1 assist, and Matthews on an absolute heater himself with another goal, tip in, and an assist for a 2-point night. So Ritchie also chimed in there with an assist. If you can
still
believe that.
Still no goals.
No, 26 games in, goose egg for Big Nick there. But
he's got a lot of bones picking.
Oh, Jesus Christ. So they beat Colorado 8-3. They go into Minnesota. They lose 4-3 in a shootout, but they get a point. I liked how they fought back, and that, like, Minnesota's a good team.
Yeah.
Not an easy fucking, like,
And 2 years ago, this Leaf team down 3-0 in a building like Minnesota would have given up. It would have been game over.
Agreed.
It would have been like, no, good night. We'll see you in Winnipeg. But they didn't. They fought hard.
Yeah.
Did you find Minnesota's a little bit of a dirty fucking team?
Well, not as dirty as the Winnipeg Jets.
No.
Yep.
They were the appetizer to what was to come. But I didn't realize how gritty Minnesota plays.
Yeah. No, I like how Minnesota. I think Minnesota's a legit contender in the Western Conference.
They are a gritty team, but they take a lot of like little dirty hits and plays, not like Winnipeg. But
You put them, like, I know it's only past the quarter way mark here, but you put them in a 7-game series against Colorado, I think it's a coin flip. Honestly.
Right now, I think it's Minnesota.
Hey everyone, Dale here. Thank you very much for watching the video. Please like, comment, and subscribe to our YouTube channel. While you're here, why don't you take a look around at some of our other videos? And if you want to listen to the audio version of our podcast, we are available on all podcast platforms. You can check in the description below. And if you want to support the podcast, you can do so by going to our Patreon page, and you can find a link to that as well. The Tip In Maple Leafs Podcast.